Okay, I do have a couple games I want to show you for review today. But first I thought I'd tell you a joke. And I'm not very good at telling like scripted jokes, but I saw this going around the internet today, so I thought I would take this moment to practice on you guys. So you guys are the unsuspecting victim of my terrible joke. But here goes. So these three girls are driving down the road and they get in this horrific car crash and they all die. That's not the joke part, don't laugh. And they all go to heaven, and they're wandering around heaven. They wander into St. Peter. They're like, oh, hey, I guess we're in heaven now. And St. Peter says, yep, you're all good. You guys led a good life. Now that you're in heaven, there's only one rule we have. And the girls are going, what's that rule? And St. Peter says, well, wherever you see a duck, just don't step on it. The one rule is don't step on a duck. And the three girls think this is kind of strange. One of the bravest of the three girls asks, well, what happens if we step on a duck? He said, oh, well, we find the ugliest man up in heaven, and you have to get married to him for all eternity. That seems a little arbitrary, but the girls, again, go along with it. So these three girls go all along in their heaven day. I'm not sure how long a heaven day lasts, but it's some period of time. And within the first of those heaven days, one of the girls is really klutzy, and, who would know it? There's ducks all over the place in heaven, so she just steps on a duck. And lo and behold, St. Peter comes sweeping through on his little moped, and he marries her right then and there. Big old ceremony to the ugliest Quasimodo kind of guy that they've got in heaven. So now that one of the girls is married to this Quasimodo fellow, the other two girls are like, this is serious. We should not step on any ducks. The second girl, unfortunately, steps on a duck her second day in heaven. She gets married to a guy that's even uglier than the first guy. He's just 11 fingers and maybe eyes that are just, sort of bulging out of his skull. Just a really ugly looking dude. He's kind of a weird dude you wouldn't want to mess with. And sure enough, St. Peter whisks them away, and now they have to live happily ever after, for the rest of their heavenly life, being married to a really ugly guy. It doesn't get you into a lot of parties. So anyway, this third girl, she's real careful. She's watching out for ducks wherever she goes. She makes it so she never steps on a duck. And after some period of time, maybe like some heaven weeks or heaven days, it's really tough to tell how fast time goes up in heaven. Eventually, St. Peter comes through with a chariot and brings her the most beautiful looking guy she's ever seen. I mean, we're talking like young John Stamos kind of beautiful. He says, okay, you two have to get married. Here comes the ceremony. And this girl's kind of going along with it because she's like, well, this guy is gorgeous. Sure, I'll get married to him. But then she turns to St. Peter and says, well, but I never stepped on any duck. How come I have to, marry this guy? St. Peter looks at the girl and says, well, you didn't step on the duck. Because the guy did. You guys get it? Okay. Maybe I won't tell any jokes again for a while. Let's go play some Go. Okay. All right. Let's drink some tea. It's a chai tea today. Very lovely. And we've got two games sent up by Mike. He actually sent these in a while ago, but I was traveling and sort of busy, and I didn't get around to him for a while. So let's have a look at him. Mike is black here, playing against a 6Q. He did leave me this little note. He said he thinks he knows why he's dumb. I guess that's the summary of this. But he's wondering if I think he's dumb for the same reasons. I am paraphrasing here. I'm putting some words in your mouth, Mike. But I assume that's what you're really asking. So very standard, all 4-4 opening. Yep, correct. Very nice. Ooh, a little aggressive here for white. It's possible, but we usually see this. The disadvantage to when white does this sort of fight is that black will essentially get two moves in the contested area of the board, right? White is contesting this. And so, but that's sort of black's area. Black has stones on either side of it. So it's more of black's area. So this is a little bit of a, it's a little bit of like a throw down the gauntlet kind of move for white, this 0-3 move. It's totally playable. It works. It's okay. But you are allowing yourself to be pushed around a little bit. Black plays d2. This is much too soft. I would only consider moves over here at this point. If you're going to play another move over here, you need to play a more severe move like this. This is basically the most severe thing you could do against this corner right now. Playing moves that are on the second line in the early opening is usually much too slow. White can just ignore this, and you'll be fine. Or white will be fine. Right, after you do this, what's your follow-up? Like if white, let's say white, white even just takes the corner, for instance. And let's say plays out this Joseki. Whoops, I can't play Joseki today. Clicking too fast. So black really needs another move over here, something like this. maybe like this. But then it feels like white can even just shoulder hit, or maybe even just come over here, or even attach. It's not. It's like this black stone here doesn't really matter. It's like white doesn't even care that it's there. So you're not getting a very good exchange. So actually, white plays the more severe approach that I was advocating for down here, which is much better than black's move. And they play out a Joseki. Very fast variation. Usually, or not maybe not usually now, it's probably like 50-50, but white can also Hane here too. So, okay. This is pretty reasonable for both sides, although this pincer actually doesn't kill this stone, or at least the Aji from it. White can still move it out later with a sequence like this. And of course, white has a very big Sente reduction like this as well, and can Hane here. So it's reasonable, but I still feel like, I don't know, the spacing on here is very strange because of the second line stone. Instead of playing this stone here, right, I would have much preferred to have a stone here or here already. And then we can make a much more applicable shape in this situation. But you played there. Oh, and white takes this right away. This is okay. This is okay. I'd probably, if I was white, I'd probably Hane first in this case. But this is okay. Because again, I'm not 100% sure I want to connect this stone up, or black will not let me connect this stone. It's not a guarantee. So I would Hane first. That's a very subtle detail. Black does indeed block here. And that does hurt this stone, right? Before, this 0-3 stone still has a lot of Aji. After you make this exchange, this stone has a lot less Aji. So you have to use that Aji first with like a Hane or something else out often. But that's very, very minor. This is probably not a good move for white, because black can actually attack this. I think as white's probably better off just playing a move like this. And then if black doesn't take this right now, let's say black tries to build this, now white can come back here in a nice shape. But that's okay. Whoops. Probably not Joseki. Not really, but pretty close actually. This is not Joseki here. Oh, alright. Yep, this is way too slow though. And the thing is, if you're going to play this, if you just want to jump out, you should jump out here. But probably realistically, you probably want to do something more severe like this. Although it's really too bad. I actually really didn't want to make the D2 C3 exchange, because you can play this even without that exchange. But still, this is fine. And actually, white's move C3 is bad, so you do have to punish it somehow. You do have to make white a little bit either over-concentrated or prevent the eye shape. And this, white sort of has to squirm to do anything here. Maybe if white does this, you can even just split. It's not like white has a solid base over here. So, whoops, that's not the game. The game, white plays there, nope, and white and black plays there. This is much too over-concentrated. If you're going to play over here, you could also play here, or even just here would also be good enough. And this would also help defend. White invades immediately. That's because white's a maniac. There's no reason for white to do this right now. You did not attack this. What did you do? Or at least you didn't attack it that way. You tried to make a base first. Yeah, you're not... I mean, you are weakening them, but it's not what's really important right now. It feels like... First of all, this feels like an overplay as white. So it feels like a bad move. Feels like in this case, white will actually just get a fine result just by attaching if you play this. If I was white, I'd be perfectly happy to actually give this up, I think. Because you have to play all the way out here. Maybe take a point like this. I don't know, there's a lot of Aji. Maybe. There is this little Tsuji here for black to get around. Alright, I don't really like that for white as much as I thought I would. But it's true, white's under attack, so white should respond, somewhere to try to make some sort of base. White did this way. This feels wrong, because black should still just come back this way and attack. Alright, so you made a nice box shape, but you didn't really... White didn't play that. What did White play? White tried to live this way. Okay. Alright, this should go really well for you, because White doesn't have a base here, and you can counterattack this now. Like, this move is really powerful against this White corner. Like, White will really have to squirm. So both of you are kind of missing, I think, the correct direction. Like, you make a big box, which is good, but this is the difference between big moves and urgent moves. Just because this area of the board is really big doesn't mean it's urgent. I'm saying that this area of the board is urgent, like this area, because we have two groups that don't have bases yet. That makes it urgent. In this case, especially because we don't quite have eyes yet, I think you need to play high. But, you know, I think this is playable. I think this is playable, and exactly for the reason that you stayed up here. Like, White will come out like this, yep, and you Hane. White does this. No. What did White do? White did this? Oh my gosh, this is a great result for you then. You just play here. And now look at all the strength you have to come back and attack these two stones. That would be great. Wait, that was... Alright, so you Atari, that's good. That's a good Atari. But then White gives up the stone? This is also good for you. Okay, good. I still think you should have played high. It's only because White misplayed you got this. You know, I think if White, again... White's been playing some moves that are a little bit like, you know, bringing it to you, you know, being really severe. So playing a move like this is, you know, early on was sort of in that spirit. And so I would fully expect White to play this kind of move. It's not anything you can't deal with. You know, you can actually deal with it quite directly like this. But, you know, it is a consideration. White can counterattack something like this. This is how I would expect the game to go. Maybe even like this, and from here, I mean, there's a lot of variations based on how Black deals with this group, and then how White deals with this group and this group. A lot of variations. It's a very complicated fight. I don't think you need to do anything so complicated when you just go back to here, this move. If you just play high, there is no complication. Like, there's no fight here. If White just lives like this is perfectly fine for you, and I can come back and attack. So White almost got you into the really complicated fight variation, but just settled. This is a good Tsuji. This, however, doesn't work. This follow-up is bad. Later on, well, let me rephrase. Later on you'll get senti moves here, here, or here because of this stone. And when you do this, you're sort of basically saying you don't want any of them. This isn't even actually pure senti against White. White should actually respond here. And this is a very bad exchange for you because now these two stones can die. So playing the second move is actually a really bad exchange. White actually misplayed a little bit and instead played here instead of here, but that's okay. Alright, so you're going to press into the weaker, what you think is the weaker side. I don't think this is severe enough. I think you're strong enough just to cap. Maybe this works too. Maybe this works too. But it looks like White has a lot of squirming potential. You know, we have moves like this, and maybe even a push. And, you know, it looks like White almost has an eye and might be able to start running out and threaten to make a second one. It's tough to say. This move, does this do anything? No. You just come on top. Good. Okay, so now we just block. Is that move important? I think this move is actually better. Now that White has solidified the base on one side of the group, threatened to take away the eye space on the other side. Because it looks like this is senti for White. Actually, it's not senti. It's not... It's not. I guess it's not perfect Sente for white, but man, is it potent. It actually gives white a lot of extra eye space. Okay, so white made that exchange. Oh, do you need this? This is actually really tough reading to know whether or not you need that. Let's say you play this, but white has this cut here. So actually you do need it. I see. Is there any other better move? Alright, let's just assume you're playing that. Yes, after this move, this looks very alive. Yeah, I mean, you got the outside, that's what you're saying here in the text, and that's great, although this area is really over-concentrated. You've already invested all these stones here to make something big, and instead you made something very small, 10 to 12 points. So it's a little unfortunate. Yeah, so there were a couple moves that were probably not ideal. But your result is still okay. Like, this is still very much a game. Do you need to play there again? I still think you can just come here. And if white does anything like this, it looks like you are just barely strong enough for no Aji there for that cut. So this may not be this move may have not been necessary. The other way white can use this cut, whoops, is to of course cut this way. And so you do have to read this out. And so these ladders do matter, but there's really nothing here. Right? Even if you just threaten to capture like this and come back, there's not really a good way for white to save all these stones. And white still has a lot more pressure now down here. Yeah, so the short answer is yes, you could have played a little bit stronger, but you do get the outside, which is good. High approach. Interesting choice, but probably the wrong direction. Why not this way? I think, whoops. I think you're trying to use this wall. Right, you have this giant thickness here, all through here. And so you're thinking it projects this way. And so you need to expand from it this way. But the other way it projects, right, if let's say you come here, if white, is over here, you can even play moves like this and actually project it all the way to this side of the board. You're so thick. And this area of the board is so uninteresting because of this stone. So approaching here is a little bit of a local loss. It's not a bad move. I would just instinctively very much play f17. Because this influence doesn't project just to here. It also projects all the way to the other side of the board. So you can play almost anywhere and have it be useful. White has no business pincering this. This is terrible. Why are you counter pincering it? This is terrible. I think. Well, actually, maybe I don't know. I don't know what you should do now. This just feels so close to your wall here. And white now has this move to settle. But that's not what white played. What did white play? White took an Atari? Alright, well, good for you. Did you play here? No? Alright, keeping them all connected. I think you can do this. I think you can do this. This feels a little slack. It's very defensive, and white can still come back and play this. And these three stones didn't gain a whole lot, like it just continued to build the thickness. Okay, so white gets the corner. Okay, so I like this now for you, because this move seems wrong. Largest mistake of the game, like A or B. No, this is fine. I actually like this move quite a bit. This is playable too, but you're sort of almost like, it's like you're teaching white how to beat you. Like if you come back and take this, all white has to do is reduce this from the outside, and white won't have enough points. So Nope, I like this move, because you really want to kill this stone and get the whole middle. So this is good. Yeah, you want a running fight. This is great. No! Oh, that move is bad. That move is bad. Let's go back. This move. You need this move. This is a huge mistake, Mike. So when you play this one, this is way too overconcentrated now. Right? Because it's sort of like you're trying to build these points into territory. Rather, you want to use this as your fishing net to go capture this fish. So this way for sure. And even if white gets out, first of all, white's never going to be comfortable with this group. You can come back here and then start, you know, messing with this fish. All right, this fish isn't completely solid. And if white really doesn't like you messing with this fish and tries to, well, shall we say, just play really mean, well, that's perfectly fine. You come back and you eat the fish, the fish you started with, all over again. White can't get everything. Yep, so now white looks out. Yes, you're one move behind. You say you're under attack. It's because you needed to play f14 first. Yep, and even white is actually building territory instead of being under attack. Although this might be a little greedy, but it's okay. You don't need to respond here. You could actually cap this. What did you play? You responded. Yeah, again, you keep protecting the same, 4 points over and over again. At some point, you will have to be cautious because there is this cut. But, realistically, white has a solid group here and a solid group here. So we probably just are willing to give up the bottom half of this if white takes this cut. So, for instance, let's say you capture here and white cuts right now to try to kill you. You just come on top. And this is actually really not that bad for you. If white wants to keep you cut, has to play there. You can come back and connect this anytime you like. But in the meantime, I'm more interested in killing fish. So this is another really slack move. Okay, so white gets a little shape. Hopefully played here next at least. Nope. Where did we play? Oh, why are we defending that area? There's nothing for white to do. All right, the most severe move for white. Let's say you play here. The most severe move is this. But you don't really care. You just connect. Right? If white backs off, you connect again. And if white Ataris, you just Atari on top. There's nothing here. Oh, Mike, you're giving me pain. Why are we making these into points? I'm going to go be sad for a little while. Just really sad. So many chances. All right, we're helping the weak group at least. That's good. This move's a weird move. I would probably, if you're going to play over here, I'd probably just play this one. This actually puts a little more pressure to get a white response out. So if white does this, maybe then you have the confidence to come play here. So we can just capture this fish into the wall. This white still looks like he's in trouble, actually. Even after all the mistakes. That's how strong your wall is. Here, it doesn't feel like white needs to respond, so it feels like white can play here. Or somewhere similar. Okay, white can play that. That's a fine asking move. That's not a fine asking move. White really needs a move over here. Why? Do you need this? Does this protect the same way? It's my contention that it does, right? White can't cut. Because then you just cut through this way. So another, where's the game? Really slack move. You don't need it. Especially if you get this point right here. Again, don't need it. Don't need it. Not important. This middle. Just fix the middle. Don't respond to that, please. Out here. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't. Oh, good! Huzzah! Except it's a little strange as far as the spacing. It's okay. It's okay. I still would have been a little bit more anxious to take away the eye space. All right, you ask a question though. Yes, you should have felt strong enough a long time ago. A is not scary. I just showed you this. Not scary. If white thinks white can extend, you just extend with it. Not scary. If white extends again, white just died. Not scary. Yeah, unfortunately, after white gets another sort of free move over here, you know, because you should already have a stone here. White can play this other one. All right. All you care about is converting it to points? No, you should still, you should have to care about attacking right now. Don't worry about, it's still too early to worry about points. Look, we have this whole quadrant of the board still completely open. And, you know, white's territory is pretty limited at this point. It doesn't look like white can make any other big territories on the board, with the possible exception of here. And even that's not going to be that big. Two defensive. Nah, Yohane, okay. All right, wait. What was white's move? White played there. That basically makes white alive, it looks like. Well, I wanted you to play, it seems reckless to you now, right? Your stone, where's the weakness though? I don't understand where the weakness is. If you think it's here, it's not there. What is weak is there's a cut here. And in theory, if white gets strong on this side, this group can be made weak as well. So, no, you can play this. Like it's too little, too late. Like white is a little rat that you've just enraged and is now running around just eating everything. That looks unnecessary as white. White should probably just take this Atari right now. But that's okay. So you give up and just try to make points. Probably not big enough. It feels like white is strong enough now at this group, such that white can actually just come in here. Oh, now takes the Hane. Okay. Can white double Hane? No. Yes, this is fine. Yeah, this area is way too small. This is so over-concentrated in here. I mean, it's a lot of points, but at the same time, white can reduce, you know, 10 points immediately with a move there. And the rest of these points really aren't that black. White has ways to get in. I think white can go one stone further without... Oh, no, you have a stone there. I see. I think white's just fine extending. But that's fine. Okay. So now white plays here? Nope. White plays there. You went there? No. Yeah, I think your move's okay. I think you can do one further just to really put more pressure on the stone, but your move's okay. Okay, white's trying to live. No. I think the only way for you to stay in this game though, sure looks like you have to split. Now the problem is if white counterattacks, what happens? Like if white just stands here, who gets to run out first? And I think you're okay. Like I don't see anything really horrifically horrible happening to you, but it's not easy either. If this just happens, you know, white still doesn't have a base, and you got this move essentially for free. So, actually probably white would... Oh no, I don't know, maybe white would play this. It's actually not easy for white yet, because if you play this, let's say white needs a move to live. Does that even live cleanly? Maybe it lives clean enough. You now have a move here that's essentially free, and a move here that's essentially free. And so if white plays this really aggressively, If white tries to split you here. How does this work? I guess is my question. That looks real Seki-ish, or even like black might win. Well, this is what I'd be scared of as white. Like if you can play a move that's sente against both of these sides, that's the type of thing I'm looking for. So when you come on top, is this Hane okay? I guess the Hane is okay. It gives black another chance to split though. Okay. Does this threaten to kill this? Again, if I was white, I would really want this exchange earlier. Because, well, maybe white has to squirm a little bit more than I thought. I thought white could get an eye here pretty easily, but it might be a bad exchange. White does defend. That's not an eye. It is. I guess this is a gote if white gets to play there. White will play there. Okay, but that's okay for you. Split? No, I think you have to split right now. This puts a lot more pressure on the corner. If white just connects like this, I guess you still have some aji. But what do you do with it? It doesn't really go anywhere. That's a really big move. Alright, so you're just going to take more middle points. Does that work? Does this work? This doesn't look like it works to me. It's tough though. How does white connect out of this? I think you just eat those. I think white played too far. This looks too far. Any other choices? I can go this way. I guess this is more interesting, but it doesn't go anywhere. Yeah, overplay. Blatant overplay. In this connection shape, right, it's only connected if white plays here. Overplay. Not connected. Now, if, on the other hand, white can make use of these cuts, either here or here, this could be just fine. So I didn't read out any of that. I was just reading this pure connection. It looks like you have plenty of time on the clock, so you could actually read out some of these other cuts to see if there's other mischief. This is way too defensive. Yep, that's a good move for white. Too defensive. Are you scared that white will just peep here immediately? I mean, he will, but it's not really that good for white, right? Because white thinks this is sente. So, I don't know, you're connected. White thinks this is sente for black, rather, I should say. Right, because if white is thinking that there's this, and then you can make an eye of false eye. But the reality is it's not really sente, because white has this. But based on the assumption that he actually played this move, he thinks it's sente. Okay, so we're just connecting. Everyone wants to connect. That's okay. That's a weird move. Why isn't white just playing this? So much safer. Or actually, I should say bigger. Yep, see, white thinks it's sente. It's like sente, but it's not really sente. Okay, so you sort of split, but now white should just play there. That's why we just play this one first, just to... It's split, right? Nothing white can do about it. Here, if you play this, you have to respond again. And if you don't, then you shouldn't have played the first one. Monkey jump? Let's see what the score is like. Says it's close. Says it's close. It's giving white 2 extra points down here, I guess. This is dame for everyone. Yeah, it's close. Alright, so what happens? More monkey jumps. That was a weird sequence. What happened? Yeah, white should just play there. White messed up the monkey jump sequence. You just play there, and then white plays there. Done. Okay, that was weird. Yeah, white actually, this loses a point for white. To go that and go taste somehow. Uh-oh. I think this is still best, right? And now just connect with one of these, maybe even, I don't know which one, pick one. Maybe even that one. Because it looks like there is this co thing, right? But it's not really a co. Oh, right, but white didn't extend. White should have extended. Yeah, now you're fine. Yep, that's fine. Totally fine. We're fine. Do you have to give that up? Why do you have to give that up? I didn't see a reason. I honestly can't tell you what I was afraid of. Yep. Alright. Is that necessary? What's a better way to fix? How about that? That fixes everything and gains you a point. Much better. Some other moves, nothing looking very interesting. That was good. So you ended up playing that anyway. You could have played that and then you wouldn't have needed to play N2. So that cost you a point and Sente. Anything interesting? Let's just go to the end. What is score estimator? Now it says white by 5. Mike says, as I said earlier, I feel like this game is typical of non-handicap games I lose. I get a good attack on something, but I can't stick the landing. Thanks for letting that group off easy. Yep, you kind of did. So, I think that's exactly correct. Here, let's look at all the missed opportunities. Missed opportunity number 1. We can even keep count. Start right here. I mean, white's coming into your neighborhood. You have 2 stones over there. White has 0. Must attack. You play a soft move instead. So that was number 1. Number 2 is here. Again, you have this giant wall. Your stones are pretty safe. I know they're low, and they're a little disappointing in terms of shape. But if you're not going to extend here again, you should totally be attacking this. So that's number 2. Way too defensive. This is number 3, because right now, you can play here immediately, or if you want to do a more leaning attack style thing, play over here first, you see if you can get a white response, and then play this. So that I think that's number 3. I've already lost count. Too many. And then here, this move ended up working okay for you, so I won't say anything about it, but it shouldn't have worked as well. This is a bad exchange. This, you are attacking, so I can't not give you credit, but I think this is a better attack. So that was good, in the right direction at least. Here, but I guess the overall feeling is that, yes, you didn't attack this severely enough. Right from the very start, though. This would have made white's life a lot more difficult, because it looks like white can get out here. But that's fine. Right? I mean, where is white going to go? Really hard to tell. Okay. So anyway, you let white live there. Here, again, I think you have to play from the bigger side. It's just, this side is very uninteresting. I know you want to use your wall, but this will use it too. If white comes in here, you will force white to run that way. So you just play this, and look, you're still using your wall. No worries. The move you said you didn't like was actually a great move. This was beautiful. This move was terrible. Don't do this. Have to do this. I'm not sure what you're worried about. Are you worried? You must be worried about this cut. This isn't really that severe of a cut, because number one, you can always just keep pushing up like this and just split everything. And again, we know this isn't a real threat. So the only other way to cut this would be to go here. But this isn't a real threat either, because you just play here. And if white protects that stone, you just link up. Actually, I guess that doesn't link up. Oh, that is more interesting than I thought. Oh, that's more interesting. Alright, I assume this wasn't a thing. But perhaps it is. No, still shouldn't be a thing, though. Right? White needs to fix here. But then just push up again. I don't think it's a thing. So that was your fourth major opportunity. And then here you have a fifth opportunity. And then here a sixth opportunity. Just play here. Or if you want, you can play here first. Get a response and then play there. That's fine too. And number 7, that's soft. Here's number 7 opportunity. And finally number 8 opportunity, it's a little bit off the mark. It's a little bit late. So yeah, you did not punish. So yeah, here, let me pause for a second, and then we'll look at another game of yours, Mike. So you'll see if you have the same issue. Okay. We're back. One more game of Mike. This time, he's the white player going up against a 6-stone handicap black player. And he always plays this. I'd be very surprised if it's Sibicky. Special case only. But you should probably just play here. This actually is a little bit difficult for black to deal with. What did you do? Not a very good move. You're actually just helping him get points in the corner. After you play this, right, if he does this, this is actually great shape for you, because later on you can play here. And if he blocks, you play here. And if he blocks, you play here. And you see how this works? Like, you can kind of do this, but now all of a sudden this black group is in trouble. There's actually lots of interesting things that you can do here. So the shape point is there. Lesson number 1. I think this Atari might be bad. I think you should play over here. Again, it's handicapped, so you have to play really lightly. And if you are going to play again over here, I think connecting is actually better, which looks really weird. But you're worried about this move, right? This isn't really a problem, because you play there and then you play there. And if black backs off, well, all of a sudden now, let's just play some really simple moves. You have an invasion. Magic. So here, let's see what happened. So Atari then connected to the top. Okay. Yeah, the only problem with this is it gives black... Now black is definitely alive because black can capture here or just play here. So black should attack you there or there. What did black do? Okay, black just played defensive. A little too soft, but it's handicap and black's already way ahead. Oh, that's a weird move. I don't know if I've ever seen that move. Just play here. Just play there. Oh no, we're making black stronger. No. No. Black is getting so strong because you leaned on him with your light stones. You had no reason to make your light stones really heavy and give black a bunch of points. No reason. Black is having a really good game. That's weird. That's weird. For the love of God, someone just take the corner. Okay, no one's gonna take the corner. This is the no one takes the corner game. I see. What? No, play here. Ask black what he wants to do first. Does he want this? Then fine, you're safe here. And this stone has a lot of aji. If he wants this, that's fine, you get this. and all of a sudden black's stick is under attack. What? Whoa, gosh, I keep hitting that button. This is weird. Black plays that way, okay. You're giving up that stone. What if you play here? It's actually a tough move for black. And it's very easy, I think, for black to get tricked here. Because let's say black just blocks, you just capture this stone. Or 2 stones even, if black extends. If black hanes, you can't capture anymore that way, but what you can do is come through like this. Atari, maybe Atari, and then capture the entire corner. So that's kind of magical. There's things you can do here, but they all look like they start with this point. And that makes black, if black extends, that's the toughest one. This is a tough move. Oh, maybe it isn't. Maybe it isn't. Because black can't really extend again. Because we get this gigantic capturing race. Oh, maybe. Oh, man. Whew. Whoa, what do we do, black? This is weird. Black might have just eaten it hard. I think black just eats. Black gets eaten. Right? There's the second you do this, there's nothing here. It all collapses. That's brutal. That move is the killer one. You need to play that one. How do you recognize this one? Well, when you have a stone that's about to get captured, if you're going to give it up, always try to give it up for more. Because if you can provoke your opponent to play lots of extra moves, that's all free stuff in your pocket. In this case, it doesn't even, you don't even have to give it up, you just capture that stone. Right? 2 liberties to 3 liberties. Just win the capturing race. Okay, so you give it up, and that's a big, gigantic loss. What? Doesn't black need this? Can black really play this? Oh, maybe black can play that. How neat. I just assumed black would just play out the rest of that. If white did play this way, and then white can play here in Sente though, and then white plays here. Yeah, that looks like it works. Wow. So black shouldn't cut there. That was a bad idea. So you got a good result there in the end. But man, you were not entitled to that, having played that Atari on the outside. Invade and split him. Alright, handicap game, which means if you're going to invade, you just do it. That's what that means. You're just asking him to make solid territory and points. What does he do? He should just probably defend, but this is fine too. Oh, that smells of overplay. There, Mike. Can you really play this? What's your plan after this? You can get some endgame stuff, but... Oh, he let you connect out? Oh, he's way too nice. Oh my gosh. Oh, what is this? That's not really anything. Okay, you're taking Sente. Splitting him really hurt his group. Yeah, so I don't really like reviewing handicap games because you have to play... You know, you do have to overplay, right? And your opponent has to make mistakes, so it's kind of weird. If you're really worried about approaching him normally, do this approach. This is a little more defensive. And it can even be as simple as something like this. Either Hane or extend, where you just basically settle in the mud right there. But, you know, it's a handicap, this is fine. I'm always going to let you... You don't need this move. If you're going to play here, just play here. You don't need it. Yeah, it's definitely too dangerous for you, Tanuki. This is a really dangerous move. He just plays... If you know, once you invest especially a second stone, you have to finish out the shape. If you're just going to play one of these... If you're just going to play that and then Tanuki, I say okay. But now that you've given him this giant wall, you invested, twice as much. Oh, he didn't play that. Not a very good move for black. You don't need to respond. Good. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Good. All right. But this is also very dangerous. You understand. Yes, because black will block that way. Oh, black gave you 2 eyes easily in Sente, which means you should play over here. But you didn't. Oh, that's greedy. Oh my gosh. What happens when black plays here? This was wicked cool for white. That probably means it probably shouldn't have worked. Actually, it's kind of looking like it does. That's why black should play here. And then it doesn't work wicked cool for white. So... black extend? Nope. Black play here? No. What did black do? Oh, peep. Oh! Novel. That actually looks really nice. Of course, it makes this move kind of look useless, and this is the move you should have played in the first point. But if white connects, black can actually play this and fight. So when black peeps now, white should just come on the outside. So it still doesn't really work, but it I don't know, it was neat. Wow, white gets to split right through that. Okay. Does that work? That works. Oh. This is nothing. This is very small. Again, come back, play move over here. Maybe play this and then play this. Something like that. Would be fine. Okay, we're still fighting over those points. Okay, we are done fighting over those points. Good, white still should have gotten this point. That's big for white. White actually has some territory here and here. This is a game. This is a game. Why no Hane? You don't have guaranteed eye space yet. You should Hane. This is also a really big endgame to leave that hanging connection. Okay. Were you right to be worried about the life of these stones? No. As long as black doesn't have b7, there's absolutely nothing black can do in here. Once black has b7, you need to read some things like this. But without b7, I don't know what black would even do. Here? That's nothing. Yeah, you're not right to be worried. Alright, playing more. Okay. That's fine. Yeah, definitely shouldn't be worried now. Just all in game. Nothing else interesting. That was strange. I think you should take. That's a big move. That's bigger than this. Oh, you're thinking that's Sente. Is that Sente? Yeah, okay, whatever. Take. Oh, take that one. That's big too. I think this one's bigger. Which is strange to say since this one is in the corner, but this one's already reduced so much that necessary? Maybe, well, eventually. Okay. Nope, that's nothing. Okay. More points. This looks like it should be good for white. It's still close. Yeah, too bad white didn't get to take that. A victory. What's the score? White by 7. That really hinged on endgame. Well, I mean, 7 points is quite a bit, though. So yeah, not bad. You're opening. I was so worried though. This is the worst thing you did in this game is in the beginning. Like this, when your opponent's already like got an advantage. I know we want to lean on strong stones. It's okay to make strong stones stronger. But in a handicap game, you sort of need to leave all the oddity and all the potential for cuts and weaknesses you can. So this is really poor, actually. You have no reason to want to seal off this bottom. Like, these points are not yours. So why are you sealing it off? There's no reason to. And so instead, you have to either attack or make sure you develop. If you really are committed to playing P2, for some reason, you have to make sure this bottom area is developable, so these points are yours, which you eventually did, but it's still not the correct play. Right now they're not. So if you did this, and you took this Atari and you played here, what happens when black just comes right here? Or black just plays here? That's a lot of points for black. But I think black can play here. If black's really aggressive, black can play there, but this would actually be an okay result for white. But it still looks hard to use, this wall. Anyway, I think the point is you shouldn't be making your stones heavier in a handicap game. You did that repeatedly with so many of these shapes early on. I was really worried. I was like, this game's going to be over in 50 moves. And luckily, or maybe not luckily, but just maybe saying to the strength of your game, is you eventually found some weaknesses to exploit and threw a stone in there, and you got your opponent to bite on some things that weren't really that important, and you came back. So nice game. But yeah, don't solidify this stuff in a handicap game. Keep it open so you have these attacks later and these weaknesses you can exploit. In order to win a handicap game, you need to exploit weaknesses. And if you don't make weaknesses or let your opponent have weaknesses, you're going to lose. So yeah, don't give your opponent solid shapes. That's all. Anyway, thanks, Mike, for sending these in. Sorry it took me so long to get to them, but I hope you do watch these and learn from both of them. And I'll be doing a couple more reviews this week and get those up soon after this video. Thanks for watching. See you later.